the tea break earlier, how many contact information did you get? One, yay, success. All right, only one person got an A in this class. Anyone else? Two, oh, I'm impressed. A plus, there you go. Okay, so what usually happens after you eat is you get tired and sleepy. So to avoid sleepy eyes in this afternoon session, I decided that we could do a little dance. And this is pretty new. The organizers didn't really know about this, but spontaneous fun. So can we have music, please? Yeah, I'm serious. Stand up. Come on, everyone, stand up. So we're going to do a little very simple dance to Will Ferrell's Happy. Yeah, happy. Can we have music, please? Okay, let's just groove.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
Groove. Just move from side to side. No one's looking. Nobody cares.
Take a break.
All right, now move with me, yeah?
I could go to space.
This side.
With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth.
All right, let's clap.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news, talking this and that. Well, give me all you got and don't hold it back. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine.
Now turn to your neighbor. Pick a neighbor. Turn to them. Turn to them. Turn to a neighbor.
Clap along if you
quay lại người bên
And
cạnh
do
nào
a
các bạn.
dance with a neighbor. You can clap your hands.
Clap along
You can
if you
Google.
feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want
Kenneth, you
to
should
do.
join.
Bring me down, can't none bring me down.
great, thank
Love
you.
is too high, bring me down, can't none.
Woo! Give a big applause to everyone.
Just a little bit of fun that I made up on the spot. Okay. So back to the program. So VIETAI wouldn't have been possible without our sponsors. So we want to dedicate a little bit of time for our sponsors to come up and say a few words. First off, Dr. Nguyen Anh Nguyen. I just flipped their last and first name. So Nguyen Anh Nguyen. He's a data scientist, entrepreneur, and seasoned banker. He earned his PhD in economics at Rice University in the States before going over to Berkeley to work, where he led and developed analytical models for credit risk, fraud risk, collection, and recovery. He founded Trusting Social in 2013. Trusting Social is a fintech and AI company that pioneers alternative credit scoring using telecom data and other data sources. Trusting Social has won multiple fintech startups awards regionally and is currently providing credit scores to over 470 million people in Vietnam, Indonesia, and India. So please give a warm welcome.
Thank you very much. And hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Wen, not Wen. And it's a pleasure to be here and very happy to contribute our part to the ecosystem of AI in Vietnam. So just quickly about Tricking Social, we are a fintech AI company, and our mission is to advance data science and technology to deliver financial access for all. And the key word here is advancing data science. And our ambition is to provide everybody in the world access to formal credit, which is a very basic right, but about 2/3 of the world still don't have access to. To us, it's as critical as access to water, access to good education, access to insurance, and so on. My apologies. Okay. So, so we are a very focused company. We focus on a single problem, which is given a person in Indonesia, should we lend money to this person? But what's interest rate and what is the expected loss rate or credit loss rate if we give a loan to that person? And we want to solve this problem at a global scale, right? And happy to report that today we scored 470 million people in 3 markets: Vietnam, Indonesia, and India. And 6 years ago, we set out the goal of scoring 1 billion people because we think that 1 billion people is a nice number. And apparently next year we're going to achieve that milestone and probably will cross that mark pretty fast. In terms of team, we have around 200 team members in 11 offices in 7 countries, 24 PhDs, 60 masters, and 2 research labs, one in Ho Chi Minh and one in Melbourne. So this is the problem that we want to solve, right? So if you move along the income axis, you can see that the high-income people tend to have very good credit history, probably because they have a credit card and they pay back. And from that credit history, the banks feel very comfortable to lend money to these people, who then use that money to basically can build a new business or see some education opportunity or smoothen their income when they have they face challenges. Whereas 80% of the population does not have that luxury. Most of the people don't have credit history, therefore they cannot borrow from the banks. But because they cannot borrow from banks, they cannot accumulate repayment history that the banks share among each other. So this 80% of the population get excluded from the formal credit market, and typically they have to go to the pawn shop. Like in Vietnam, for example, the black market of very, very high interest rate of up to 1% a day is very, very popular, extremely popular, and it creates a lot of challenges for the poor. And we want to solve that problem. But we cannot blame the banks for this problem because they don't have the information, they don't have the data, so they don't know how to differentiate among, let's say, 200 of us, which one they should lend money to, at what interest, and that's the problem that we want to solve. So our solution involve 4 steps. Step number 1 is to find out different data sources that cover the invisible customer segments. By invisible, I mean those who don't have credit history. And apparently, telecom data, social data have provided us very good coverage. But data alone is not enough because this type of data don't typically have high correlation with risk performance. So from this data, we have to apply advanced AI technique to reconstruct the risk profiles as well as the live picture of each individual, right? So from, let's say, telecom data, we can estimate income, we can estimate financial literacy, we can even estimate the social graph of a person, right? So we are probably the first company in the world that analyzes the social graph of an entire country and provide credit score to the entire country. For example, in India, we have a social graph of 870 million people that have billions of connections among them. We use that social data information to provide credit score or credit assessment to 220 million consumers in India today. Then, after we understand the risk profiles and personalities of each and every individuals in a country, then we have to redesign the financial products so that we can have the consumers, right? For example, in Vietnam, our product, which is actually, because of our credit score, the banks come up with a new loan product, which is borrow with a phone number. And it becomes the simplest product in the market, and therefore it's extremely popular. And we just keep doing that, and the more people use our service, the banks, the e-commerce side, and so on and so forth, the more data that we can collect, the more insight we have about the consumers, the even more services that we can provide. So that's the key data flywheel that all of the AI-first companies have to pay attention to. So last slide, this is our 6-year overnight success. We started in way back in 2013, tried different markets like US, UK, Malaysia before we hit the first success in Vietnam, where we score 55 million people. And then when we have a team of 5 people, we already go out and with the idea that let's conquer Asia. So 5 people, 1 dedicated person to go to Indonesia, talk to Telkomsel, which is the biggest telecom operator that have about 50,000 people. We are 5, right? So we play the role of a lawyer, and then I talk to myself and play the role of compliance. So, but 2 years later, we have Indonesia. We cover 60% of Indonesian population. And this year, we also go live with India with 220 million consumers. And by next year, we probably will cross 1 billion mark. So again, this is a story of a small startup from a not very strong AI nation, but with a focus, with a grit of spending 6 years trying different markets, different segments, different products, different techniques, different data sources, that eventually we hit the nail on the head. This is the challenge that the World Bank and the IMF and the United Nations have been trying to solve for the last 6 years. And we think that we now have the solution that basically can empower financial inclusion for the world in the next 5 to 10 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Ollie Technologies. It is a research and device maker startup right here in Ho Chi Minh City. It was born with a firm belief in the singularity of data, machine learning, and robotics. They're committed to serving the Vietnamese community with high-tech products and aim to radically transform the way we interact with each other and the environment around us. So let me welcome Hao Do.
Okay. First of all, hello everyone. My name is Hao Do. I'm an AI researcher at Ollie Technology. It's an honor for me to be here, stand here, and talk to you about us, about our company, our projects. I want to thank all of you for organizing, come here and join this event. Thank you. As mentioned in the morning by Professor Triết, without a real application, AI is nothing. And now my presentation will present a real product of AI. Today, my topic is smart speaker products for Vietnamese. Sorry, how can I change to the next slide? Okay, thank you. Smart speaker is very popular now. It's a wireless speaker It's a voice command device with an integrated virtual assistant. With a virtual assistant, it can help us to do a lot of things like playing music, reading news, making a calls, or other applications. In the world, we have many kinds of smart speakers like Google Home, Amazon Echo, Apple HomePod, or Harman Kardon. And most of them very popular, but mainly focused on English. We don't have any Vietnamese support for this kind of device. So this motivates us to create similar products for Vietnamese. Here's our first smart speaker product. We name it Omni. This is a smart speaker dedicated to Vietnamese, and we use Vietnamese as the default language. We build this smart speaker from scratch, from a physical device to a virtual assistant. With the device, we design electronic system, mechanical structure, and we write the firmware to connect this device to the system. With a virtual assistant, we create an AI system to process the command from the user. Besides, we construct two platforms, data collector and skill builder. With the platform, we can collect and build a lot annotated corpus. We use this platform to create data not one time, but also many times and many kinds of data. And currently, we have a large data set of Vietnamese language. Here's our mechanical and electronic design. As can be seen in the illustration, we have 3 PCB, one main speaker, one microphone array with beamforming. And to make the AI system understand the command by user. So after a user trigger his or her command, our virtual assistant can listen, understand, and reply to the user by Vietnamese voice. To do this, we must deal with 4 main topics. Speech recognition, natural language understanding, natural language generating, and text-to-speech. Generally, we use sequence-to-sequence framework to solve the problem. Now let's take a look to our short video. We want to show all of you what we have done and will do in Oli. One more. Sorry. In the slide, in the video, this is actual device. We just add a subtitle to make you more convenient. Please listen carefully to the voice in the video. That voice.
Vincom Center Đồng Khởi nằm ở đâu?
Địa chỉ của Vincom Đồng Khởi là 72 Lê Thánh Tôn, phường Bến Nghé, quận 1, thành phố Hồ Chí Minh.
Mai Ca ơi, gọi điện thoại cho bà xã. Mai Ca ơi, mở cho tôi bài Xin chào Việt Nam của Phạm Quỳnh Anh.
Mời bạn nghe bài Hello Việt Nam do Phạm Quỳnh Anh trình bày.
Tell me all about this name that is difficult to say. It was given me the day I was born.
The voice you just hear from the audio, from the video, is synthesized by our text-to-speech system. As you can see, as you can listen, it's very natural and smooth. If you want to find more information or watch more images, more video, you can visit our website. If you are interested in our system, our team, our project, please come and join us. We welcome all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Mr. Ralph Vincent Regalado. He's the CEO and founder of Senti Tech Labs, a text analytics and AI company based in the Philippines. He worked as an assistant professor and LNP researcher for 8 years at De La Salle University in Manila. He is an active tech community leader as he volunteered for Google Developer Group Philippines chapter as a community manager for 3 years, and he also started the TensorFlow and Machine Learning Philippines. As a Google developer expert for machine learning, he has been consistently invited by Google to be a workshop facilitator and speaker in the Southeast Asia region, reaching almost 5,000 developers this year. So please give a warm welcome to Mr. Ralph Vincent Regalado.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for the invitation. It's my first time speaking here in Ho Chi Minh. So yeah, so my talk is relatively focused on Google Cloud Platform and how it will be beneficial for you, especially for those who would want to push their product from research to production. We know that in generally, we can create several models. There's already standard models, and we can actually customize some of the models that we are relatively building. It is kind of hard for us to push this to production, and Google Cloud offers different solutions for you. So for example, in image classification, you have already generic tasks. You can already perform image classification, but for custom tasks, if you would want to have specific labels, Google Cloud is also like a way for you to do that on very, very quickly. Same goes with NLP. There's already like generic tasks which extracts like part of speech tagger, doing sentiment analysis, but in some of the cases, you have your own custom way to categorize data. For example, you would want to understand if this text is related to programming, if this text is related to, is this text an opinion? And Google Cloud offers different types of variety of products in which for you that you can use so that you can create or prototype quickly an idea, or if you want to leverage on existing platforms that they have been using for their products. So you have, for application developers, you have machine learning APIs available. For data scientists and ML practitioners, you can actually build custom machine learning on the fly using Cloud ML Engine. And for those who relatively like hate coding, you have Cloud Auto ML for it. You can actually create automatically custom machine learning model on cloud. So first is machine learning as an API. So you have lots of API that you can use in Google Cloud Platform. So you have cloud speech to text systems there. You have cloud vision. You have cloud natural language, visual intelligence, and cloud translation. And it's nice to point a while ago, this is an effort to build like localized language because some of the languages are not yet supported. But if you are analyzing English and other major languages, which is relatively good to leverage on this. So you have cloud vision and cloud natural language. You have all of this available functionalities for Cloud Vision API, which can detect faces. You can also like perform safe search. You can also perform OCR. And for Cloud Natural Language, you can already extract entities for you. It can also detect sentiments. It can also analyze syntax and classify contents. So one of the users of Cloud Vision and in production is, if you notice, Giphy. If you're using Giphy, they have been leveraging on the power of the Vision API in natural language, which is running behind their systems. If you are not into leveraging and using existing out-of-the-box APIs, you can also train using your own data and do it on the cloud itself. So Cloud AutoML, it allows you to train custom machine learning models, leveraging on vision if you're analyzing images, if you're analyzing text and translation, without writing the model. So, hello. Thank you so much. So what you need to do is you need to just collect data and put your data on the Cloud AutoML, and Cloud AutoML will automatically do the training, deployment, and surveying for your API applications. All you need to do is to collect. You don't need to bother coding itself. You just need to collect all the data, put it on Cloud AutoML, and Cloud AutoML handle from end-to-end delivery and making it accessible via a REST API. So what are examples in which I can leverage on AutoML? So if you're analyzing, for example, clouds, if in using Cloud Vision API, it will just only pinpoint that this is a sky. But in some of the cases, if you would want to be strict as to what type of sky is it, because there's a different variety of sky. It could be cumulus, it could be nimbus, it could be cirrus. This is where Cloud AutoML comes in. This is where you now customize and have a deeper understanding or label and category for your data. So several AutoML Vision users includes Disney, who would relatively analyze their data to push much more content or recommendations for their product. And you also have Urban Outfitters who are still doing the same. So while AutoML Vision allows you to create image classification model, you can also leverage on AutoML natural language, which is analyzing in text data. So you can perform prediction with your own existing text data. You can also predict several news headlines if you like, and predict conditions associated to patient symptoms if you are into the medicine space. So at the same point in time, there's also an appropriate AutoML translate, which is very, very specific for the data that you would want to focus on. Because we know that, for example, driver could mean many different things in different verticals that you would like to explore. It could mean like this driver or that specific taxi driver or driver for your computer. Right? So Cloud AutoML Translate enables you to drill down as to what would be your own definition, okay? What would be your own way of analyzing and understanding the text itself. So several users of AutoML Translate includes WeLocalize, which is the largest localization providers, OpenTable, and Blackboard itself. So at the same point in time, sometimes using out-of-the-box APIs prohibit us to checking if this model that I have built is relatively good or not, okay? So wonderful way to allow us to do our own thing, okay? Observe what's happening with our model and requires us to have more control over to the machine learning that we're developing. So this is where Cloud ML Engine comes in. So Cloud ML Engine allows you to build, train, and serve custom models with your own internal data. So how does it work? You actually try to leverage the use of several existing programming languages or machine learning libraries such as TensorFlow, you have PyTorch, you have Keras, XGBoost, and you try to actually build your machine learning model using this machine learning libraries and push and do the training on the Cloud ML Engine itself. So in Cloud ML Engine, it can also enable you to perform distributed training, especially if you have a huge amount of data. You can handle training using GPUs and TPUs, and it's a fully managed platform for machine learning. So you can do your training on the cloud. If you don't have the resources offline to do the training itself, you can do the training on the cloud. So ML Engine in production, so Rolls-Royce are actually using this to analyze and train object detection models and detect and identify track objects in the vessel. And you have also Ocado, which is the largest grocery delivery service in the UK, who is using Cloud ML Engine. So just to highlight what are the 3 points for this presentation, it appears on different variety of levels of knowledge for developers and application developers and researchers who would want to push their product into in their machine learning model to production. So you can use a pre-trained API to accomplish machine learning tasks. You would relatively just use machine learning APIs for image analysis, NLP, and translation. If that doesn't appease the use case that you are building, you can also use and train model using your own data without writing the code itself using AutoML. And if you would want to have a much more handhold to the algorithms and provide much more customization towards the machine learning models that you are developing, you can use and train and serve it on the ML engine. So here are some of the links that allows you to understand better the discussions that I have covered, which is very relatively quick. And hopefully you can apply the usage of these tools when you publish and when you produce and put into production your machine learning models. Thank you very much.